The trade deadline came and went for the Buffalo Bills. They made a move right before the trade deadline, about 30 minutes before the trade deadline ended, and it is a big move. And today we're going to break it down. Hello, everyone. I'm Brett from the Go Bills podcast. Glad to be with you on this Wednesday evening to discuss our film study of Rasul Douglas, the cornerback that we acquired from the Green Bay Packers. Before we get into this show, let me remind you to don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. You can find us at the Go Bills Podcast on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, as well as Threads. And you can also find us on our website, gobillspodcast.com. Let's dive into this new player that the Buffalo Bills acquired from Green Bay, Rasul Douglas, a cornerback who has started off his career with a couple of other teams. He's played for, this is now going to be his fifth different team that he will play for. Starting off his career with the Eagles, he was acquired for a third-round pick from the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills got Rasul Douglas as well as a fifth-round pick. The big move of the day, as well as the move a couple of days before that, the Bills got Leonard Fournette. Now, remember, the Bills will have a compensatory pick that they will get back from the compensatory formula of losing Tremaine Edmonds in free agency. So the Bills get a 7-year veteran from the Green Bay Packers, acquire him for a third-round pick. He was also a third-round pick from from the Philadelphia Eagles in 2017. He played 3 years with the 3 years with the Eagles, and then transferred over to the Panthers in 2020. Then after making a couple of pit stops in the Raiders, Texans, and Cardinals, he finally found a home with the Green Bay Packers in 2021. Now, before these trade deadline finished up, it was known that he wasn't going to be available. So Buffalo was going after guys like Jalen Johnson from the Chicago Bears, and it didn't seem like they were going to get a guy like Rasul Douglas. And then a few hours before the trade deadline ended, the Bills were able to get on the phone and negotiate a couple of times with the Green Bay Packers to acquire Rasul Douglas, a important veteran that's going to come in and take a little bit of pressure off of guys like Christian Benford and Dane Jackson for their spots. Now, the Bills will have some other competition that they will have in that cornerback room. But let's get into Rasul Douglas, who played for the Green Bay Packers. He is 29 years old and has started 28 of 36 games he has played with the Packers. He had 10 interceptions in his career in Green Bay. 2 of them were returned for touchdowns, plus 174 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 recovery that he got. This season, Douglas has played very well. Pro Football Focus grades him as the 12th best cornerback in the league. He has a completion percentage of 67.6 for 11.9 yards per reception. So good numbers from Rasul Douglas overall. And he is also a cornerback that plays very well zone coverage. A big guy and 6'2", 209 pounds overall. By far the biggest cornerback on the team for the Buffalo Bills. How does this impact the Bills financially? He is only going to command $800,000 base salary this season from the Buffalo Bills. The figure goes up quite significantly in 2024 to $9 million that's owed to him in the last season of his 3-year, $21 million contract with Green Bay that he signed. Now, the Bills can move money around. They can also extend him on a contract extension, which is a move that I think the Bills will definitely make. That's something that should be done in the next couple of months, possibly. Maybe even in the offseason, the Bills will extend him to a contract, but they can move the money around quite a bit when it comes to Rasul Douglas. Let's get into the breakdown of Rasul, and I will stay on the mic. You won't have any sound on here, but you will be able to hear me along with the video of Rasul Douglas. But you can see here, Rasul on a dagger route right here. He makes an interception, gets it back, and runs it back to the house on this play. And leaps into the stands with the Green Bay crowd doing the Lambeau leap there. Another play here. You can see Rasul, another big interception that he will have on this play. Great coverage that you'll see from him, intercepting the pass and winning the game for the Green Bay Packers. Taking it all the way back to the other side, showing off. You can tell that Rasul is a veteran, and he's also a very good leader for the Green Bay Packers. Somebody that sucks to lose a guy like him. Here's another play where there's a fade route that they're trying to run, and Rasul picks it off right here to win another game for the Packers by 3 points, giving the ball to a fan in the crowd. But you can tell that Rasul, a veteran leader, he's going to come in, be a very good player for the Buffalo Bills. Another interception that he has in the game against the Rams, intercepting the pass, and then it gets lateral back to another player, taken down. This is the last play going up against Tyreek Hill and winning the game again for the team. But you can tell when his interceptions have been very good for the Green Bay Packers has been when he has made those interceptions in crunch time, which is something that I absolutely love for the Buffalo Bills. It comes down to when he does it in crunch time. Jake Podger coming on the show. Thank you, Jake, for watching. Really do appreciate you saying, let's go, Brett. Fired up for this. And also, Rasul will be the cornerback 1 or 2 this year. It's only a matter of time. Completely agree. Now let's look at the cornerback room for the Buffalo Bills, and it is going to be a stacked team right now. You have guys like Christian Benford, Dane Jackson, Rasul Douglas added to the mix, Taron Johnson. You add in Kaiir Elam, who will probably be the guy that's going to be the odd man out as far as the inactives for the Buffalo Bills. Josh Norman, don't forget him. He's on the practice squad. You also have Siren Neal, who's another cornerback that we have, as well as Cam Lewis is the other cornerback for the Buffalo Bills. So a lot of cornerbacks that the Bills have. This is the move that I absolutely love that the Bills made. I think that he's going to be a guy that's going to come in, be a leader, which is something that the Bills have needed as far as the secondary goes. Takes a lot of pressure off of Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, as well as Taylor Rapp, to be able to play out there. Now, Taylor can learn the system and can develop into the right spot. Also, you don't have to move Jordan Poyer, who was playing the linebacker, cornerback, safety, everywhere you could possibly imagine him going. He's been everywhere on the field for the Buffalo Bills. Now you're going to see him be able to go out there and do his thing and do the right thing for the Buffalo Bills by getting back and staying in the safety spot that he normally is. This move also allows versatility for the Buffalo Bills to be able to mix match and use guys like Taylor Rapp and Rasul Douglas right now, intertwine and use them in the right situations to also blitz the opposing teams. Now let's look ahead to who the Bills are going to play coming up. And we have the Bengals coming up, which is a big game where you're going to have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, as well as Tyler Boyd that we're going to be playing against. You also have the Broncos coming up with Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton. And then you have the Jets coming up in a game with Garrett Wilson. That's going to be another big one. Then you have the Eagles coming up as well with Devontae Smith, as well as A.J. Brown, and now Julio Jones that was acquired as a free agent. Then you have Travis Kelce and the Chiefs with Sky Moore, who's another good cornerback, or another good wide receiver, I'm sorry. Mecole Hardman as well down there with the Chiefs. And you have a couple of other weapons that are there as well with Isaiah Pacheco that they're using. And that's going to be a tough matchup all day. Then you go to the Cowboys, and the Cowboys, I'm sorry, we're at home against the Cowboys, don't get me wrong. But you play the Cowboys, and you have the likes of Michael Gallup, you have CeeDee Lamb, and you also have Brandon Cooks. So that's going to be another tough matchup for the Bills. Then you go to the Chargers, and that matchup is going to be Keenan Allen, and you also have Quentin Johnson in that one. And then another game against the Patriots where we're at home, luckily, but you have Kendrick Bourne and Demario Douglas in that game, as well as Juju Smith-Schuster that you're going up against. And then for the Dolphins game, the last game of the year, you have Jalen Waddle, you have Tyreek Hill, you add in Robbie Anderson, Chosen Anderson, as he likes to be called. You also add in Chase Claypool in that game. That's going to be a tough matchup for the Buffalo Bills. That's why I love this move from the Bills. It's something that doesn't cost them a lot. Yes, it's a third-round pick, but you're gaining a third-round pick with the Tremaine Edmonds move that you're going to have here. So I'm all for this move. I think it's going to be a great one for the Bills. A young cornerback that is liked in the locker room, respected in the locker room as well, and can come in, learn the system, play the right spot, which is something that we've seen with Kaiir Elam struggle with. Now, the Bills didn't give up on Kaiir Elam. They have him on the roster right now. And Brandon Beane talked about bringing in Rasul Douglas and what it means to Kaiir Elam. And this move doesn't mean the end for Kaiir Elam. It's a move where the Bills can find a number one cornerback or number two cornerback with Tre'Davious White out. It fills an immediate need that the Bills have had for a long time, especially with White being out, and now they don't have any depth. Now they add depth to the position. You can let Kaiir get healthy with the ankle injury that he has, and it also allows the Bills to let Kaiir learn how to be a zone cornerback. Now, the Bills talked about what the process was for Josh Norman when he was a man coverage cornerback, and how changing him to a zone coverage cornerback was hard. It took 3 years for Josh Norman to learn this. And now you have Josh Norman in the twilight of his career teaching Kaiir Elam how to play this position. That's only going to make him better. And I think it's going to be a great move from the Buffalo Bills. If I had to grade this pick for the Buffalo Bills, I think that getting Rasul Douglas will end up being a A grade for the Buffalo Bills. It's only going to be better and better as time goes on. And you're going to see a guy that's going to come in, get a lot of interceptions, and be tight in coverage as well, and make an impact for the Buffalo Bills when they go to the playoffs and make a deep run all the way to the Super Bowl and the promised land that the Bills want to have. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, as well as Threads. Also, don't forget to go on over to our website, gobillspodcast.com. Click on the website, pull up all the upcoming shows that we will have on the 2023 schedule that we have for the podcast. This has been the Go Bills Podcast. We will see you next time for another edition of the Go Bills Podcast. Until then, Go Bills.